When you receive a job offer, one of the first things you'll notice is the pay. Maybe it says $20 per hour or perhaps $50,000 per year. At first glance, they might seem like different ways of saying the same thing, but they're actually two very different ways of being paid: a wage and a salary. While many people use the terms interchangeably, the difference affects your pay, overtime, and work schedule. So, what's the difference between wages and salary? Let's find out right here on History of Simple Things. The concepts of wages and salaries date back thousands of years. In ancient civilizations like Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Rome, workers were often paid based on their time or completed tasks, sometimes with grain, livestock, or other goods instead of money. As cash became the standard, two payment systems emerged: hourly pay for laborers and fixed pay for professionals. A wage is payment based on the amount of time you work. Most commonly, it's calculated by the hour, although some jobs pay by the day or even by the number of tasks completed. If you're earning $18 per hour and you work 8 hours in a day, you'll earn $144 before taxes. If you work longer, you generally earn more because your pay increases with every additional hour. This makes wages directly connected to the time you spend working. Hourly wages are common in industries with changing work schedules, such as restaurants, retail, construction, manufacturing, warehouses, delivery services, and healthcare support. One of their biggest advantages is overtime pay. In many places, employees earn extra, often 1.5 times their regular hourly rate, after working beyond a certain number of hours each week. This means the more hours you work, the more you can earn, making hourly jobs especially rewarding during busy seasons. However, wages also come with uncertainty. If business slows down and your employer schedules fewer hours, your income decreases. If you're unable to work because you're sick and don't have paid leave, you may earn less that week. Your paycheck can fluctuate from one pay period to another, making budgeting more challenging. For many hourly workers, income depends not only on their pay rate but also on how many hours are available. A salary, on the other hand, works differently. Instead of being paid for each hour worked, salaried employees receive a fixed amount over an entire year. That annual amount is divided into regular paychecks, whether they're paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. For example, if someone earns a salary of $60,000 a year, they'll generally receive the same paycheck throughout the year, regardless of whether one week is slightly busier than another. Salary is commonly associated with professional, administrative, technical, and management positions. Teachers, accountants, software developers, engineers, marketing specialists, office managers, and many executives are paid this way. Rather than focusing on the exact number of hours worked, employers usually expect salaried employees to complete their assigned responsibilities and meet performance goals. Being paid a salary doesn't necessarily mean working fewer hours. Many salaried employees regularly work beyond the standard work week without extra pay, especially during busy periods or major projects. Since their income stays the same regardless of hours worked, they are often described as being paid to get the job done. The trade-off is financial stability. Receiving a consistent paycheck makes it easier to budget, save, and plan for long-term expenses. Many people assume a salary always means higher pay or a better position, but that's not always true. An hourly worker earning regular overtime can sometimes make more than a salaried employee, especially if that salaried employee works long hours without extra pay. It's also a myth that salaried workers don't track their time. Many companies still require it for project management, legal compliance, or internal planning. The difference between wages and salaries is more complex than many people realize. In countries like the United States, overtime eligibility depends not only on whether someone is paid a wage or salary, but also on job duties, income level, and labor laws. At the same time, remote work, freelancing, and the gig economy have blurred the line even further, with many people earning through a mix of salaries, hourly work, or project-based payments. Psychology also plays an interesting role in how people perceive these two payment methods. Research has found that salaried employees often think about their work in terms of career growth, promotions, and long-term achievements, while hourly workers may pay closer attention to individual shifts, schedules, and immediate earnings. Ultimately, wages and salaries aren't competing systems where one is automatically better than the other. They're designed for different kinds of jobs and different business needs. Hourly wages reward time worked and often provide opportunities for overtime, while salaries offer predictable income and emphasize broader responsibilities rather than individual hours. Each has its own strengths, challenges, and trade-offs depending on your career goals and lifestyle. So the next time someone asks whether a job pays by wage or by salary, you'll know the answer involves much more than just how often a paycheck arrives. It's a reflection of how work is valued, how businesses operate, and how people build their careers. Two different payment systems, both serving the same purpose, rewarding people for the time, skills, and effort they contribute every single day. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.